I call to order this regular meeting of the Kingman Unified School District number 20 school board meeting on May 13th, 2025 at 4:30. Will you stand and say the pledge with us, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Wonderful hearing so many voices in the boardroom today. Item number 3 on the agenda is the roll call, formal roll call. Tony Henry here.
Roy Grant here.
Boyd Hardy here.
Susan Collins here.
Roger Cox here.
And we have a full board. Item number 4 is recognition of retirees and those leaving the district with more than 10 years of service.
President Henry, members of the board, I'm going to take over center stage for a little while. Superintendent Gretchen Dorner and I have the pleasure of announcing those who are retiring from our district and those who are leaving as dedicated employees for a minimum of 10 years or more. And it's kind of special this evening because I was noting as I was going through the names that this is my class, my cohort. We're going to recognize a lot of folks who joined the district in the early 90s, the early to mid 90s, and that's exactly when I joined the district. So kind of have goosebumps head to toe for good reason because I love these people and I'm excited to call them up and share a little bit about them with you. And then for sad reasons because when a population of educators who have worked together for 10, 20, 25, 30 years separates ways because life paths take them another direction, it's hard to say goodbye. But I'm going to tell you, we are pausing for every one of the folks that are here this evening because every one of them is magic and has impacted the lives in Kingman. Did anyone in here have any of the people you know on the list as a teacher, perhaps? I know that my children and my grandchildren have had several of the folks, and I'll point that out as we're going through the list. And it is not in the order, I apologize that it's on the board agenda, but it's in the order that I put together. So my Dana will be Executive Director Shelley Eastman. And I will be as brief as possible, but I always want to make sure that our staff is recognized and you know that it is genuine from the heart that we appreciate you very much. So my first year as superintendent was the best year. It was the COVID year. I'm still here. You can start your superintendency in the COVID year and still be working. You had great people on your team. And Angela Moreski, Director of HR. Angela was here the year before I arrived, and Angela taught me everything I need to know about district level human resources, and I know you've been a great asset for every principal, teacher, transportation person, classified personnel who ever had any need. They called you and they had someone who could listen with empathy, would follow through, and is a problem solver, and you will be missed. They're all similar, but I'm going to read the first one. I won't read every one of them. Angela Moreski, Executive Director of Human Resources, in appreciation of your years of dedicated service, devotion, and commitment to our students in Kingman Unified School District. You've been caring for kids here since 2017. And I can have, maybe, I don't know how you want to do this. I would love to have you in the picture. You may end up just standing up here for a while. All of us? Yeah. Oh. That was just Tony. I'm going to put her between you all.
That was too awkward.
We won't make you all stand there. Here's your flowers. They're so lovely. Maybe two on one side. Thank you so much. There we go. 1, 2, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Angela.
Yeah.
Are we staying or leaving?
You just stay there, how about that? Okay. John Benegay, you want to come up, Judy, with him, or do you want to come up together?
You want me to get you?
If you ever want to learn how to run for mayor, hang out with John Benegay. John, I had to look you up to see all of the things that you've done. 94, 95 PE at Black Mountain. I learned that a lot of our folks started at Black Mountain. And then at KHS, White Cliffs Middle School, Kingman High, been a principal, a dean, a vice, all the things. And what was your favorite job?
The athletic director.
The athletic director.
Yeah.
You cannot go to an event at Kingman High School, I don't care what event it is, what level it is, what time of year it is, which season it is, Mr. Benegay is there. And he's either carrying a baby, or talking to an athlete, or having former students run up and remember you, and it's all because of the heart that you have for kids at Kingman Unified, and you will be dearly missed.
Some of my kids.
John Benegay, caring for kids at Kingman Unified since 1994. Just a little closer. Okay, ready? 1, 2, and 3. Got it. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on up, Judy Benegay. So Judy, same year, since 1994-95. And when was your son?
1997.
1997. So they raised their son in Kingman Unified School District, and what a remarkable young man he is. What is he doing now?
What is he doing, John?
He owns the world.
No, he studied aerospace engineering.
He's a rocket scientist.
And and he works for a company that does drone deliveries, that they're implementing a drone delivery system.
I'll give you these. Judy has been a lot of things, but I noticed when I was studying your history that student support specialist, student support coordinator, counselor, everything you did was about students. And I've had the pleasure of working alongside you and watching you interact with students, and they know when they're in Judy Benegay's office that someone is listening and you're helping them with their life plan and their story. And you also.
Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, is there a picture happening?
Oh, yeah.
Has that happened yet? Okay.
Okay, so what I'm doing for Okay. I think too early in the program is another routine.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
To my dear friend Scott Taylor. Scott and I have a special history. We student taught at Wildfire School. We student taught at Wildfire School, and if you know either one of us, you know we're very competitive.
I usually lost.
We had a love for teaching and data and striving, and I learned so much from having Scott as a peer teacher. I learned every day from you. You are a true champion of students. I had the pleasure of having Scott at the Manzanita leadership team with me, so I got to see you in action working with parents and students. And then the principal of Lee Williams High School after you were the principal of Manzanita. And I thought, well, what a lovely way to retire. You went full circle and you were a champion in the classroom for kids again. So I think I have it. I don't even need notes on you. 93, 94 was your first year. Here you go. What's your favorite part about the last 30 years?
Oh gosh, gifted 5th grade and principal of Lee Williams would be the two.
All right, caring for kids since 1993. And also raised 2 amazing young ladies. And where are they?
They're both at NAU and they will be teachers.
You're one of the teachers that raised my son. Yeah.
Been a while.
It's been a while. Carrie Taylor. Carrie Taylor was a teacher of my no longer young daughter, who has 4 of her own. Carrie's an incredible person. I really enjoyed working with you at Manzanita, and I know how many students have gone through your class and your program. Carrie had a real talent for teaching, but also for bringing students to a level of courage where they could perform. How many years did you run the drama?
Oh, it's got about 24, 25 years we did drama.
Since 2001.
I mean, does a couple times a year for more than 20 years. The students in Carrie's class put on productions that were professional and worthy of all the accolades. And oftentimes when we would, I should have said this about Scott as well, when we would give awards at board meetings for student achievement, Scott and Carrie are often in the boardroom because your students were always achieving at a very high level. And that's because of your dedication and your caring. And you will be missed.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I can note, Carrie, that you and Scott. Oh, you gotta get a photo.
Oh, my gosh.
1996.
All that drama
No,
stuff?
I know. Scott and Carrie has served as teachers under 8 principals at Manzanita. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Janelle Puppy. So happy to see you. How happy are you? We have to be so grateful that these teachers are making an appearance in the last week of school. How's it going? Good for you. Janelle has been at Serbat since 1994-95 school year. And I noticed that you did 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4, 5, and 5th. How many years in 5th grade?
Well, let's see, 2nd grade was 4 years, 3rd grade was 4 years, and it's been 5th grade in some form since then.
And she's incredible. I've had the opportunity as superintendent to be able to walk through Janelle's classroom, and never a time when I come in there are the kids not engaged. You are always, I call it holding court, because they're listening to every word. You're so engaging and so knowledgeable and so good at what you do, and we're so grateful to have you. And she is leaving her better half alone at Serbat. What's your favorite memory of all those years at Serbat? 8 principals also, I counted.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
I don't know, other than meeting him 25 years ago, more than 25 years ago, we met at Serbat. But we grew up 45 minutes from Wisconsin. So.
You grew up 45 minutes
Club.
We grew up 45 minutes from Wisconsin and met out here.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Well, you did not Poppy since 1994. Thank you. Congratulations. Oh, here's your box. This incredible teacher has one of my grandchildren in her class right now, Shelly Owen. Yay! And I thought, you go.
Thank you.
She's been in the district. You started in, let me find you. You were in 1992-93 at Black Mountain. You also started.
Yeah.
Shelly O.
And then where I met you was at Palo Christi. I was an assistant when you were a teacher at Palo Christi. And you were one of the reasons that I wanted to become a teacher. You and some of those Palo Christi teachers, when I was an assistant in your classrooms, I thought, what an incredible job and an incredible opportunity. So thank you for inspiring the students in your class and the next generation of teachers as well. And I can attest, absolutely incredible, right, Mr. Arby?
Awesome.
But you did, then after Palo Christi, let's see, Desert Willow, and then Wallapai, and 2nd grade at Wallapai is where you are. And what's been your favorite moment of all the years of teaching?
Working with me?
Actually,
Just kidding.
no, I'm glad I ended my career at Wallapai. He's quite funny to work with, so it makes it enjoyable.
Well, we so happy for your dedication. I have, how many more grandkids under Jay? You could just stay a few more years. That's the plight, I'm sure Scott and Carrie and Janelle, you've all heard that as teachers. Thank you. You're probably starting to see the children of your students, right? And they're saying, please stay just a little bit longer. Jerry, don't go up. Jerry Arby.
Yeah! Okay! Woo! 33 years! Woo! Well, Pine Mountaineers!
And I'll have to turn around and look at his fellow principals. They're eating hamburgers, and I love that you got Route 44 drinks. Any of them a Diet Coke? No. Jerry was hungry one night when he came to a board meeting, because sometimes they're long evenings, and we were all like, what smells so good? And he might be having his dinner in the back or having his favorite drink, and just always bringing joy to whatever situation. And I can tell you,
That's me, I bring the joy.
and the fear to all the situations. So many leaders have looked to Jerry as an example, including myself. I walked into Manzanita. You were the teacher on assignment or the vice principal, at Manzanita. And I was starting my journey, my very first year as an administrator, and I said, I know you're successful and you're a great leader. What advice do you have for me? And he said, oh, always be visible, right? And care about everyone that you serve. And I have used those words. Every leader that knows you has used those words because of you. You're an incredible inspiration. And I don't know, if you haven't worked closely with Jerry, even though he's the one bus in the house, God, his heart for staff members and for children and for parents and for the community is huge. And your shoes cannot be filled. We love you so much and we will miss you dearly.
Thank you. Did you tell him when I started?
Yep, he's retiring because his beautiful daughter over here, congratulations. Four granddaughters. Reeves, is that?
Yeah,
Reeves
Reeves.
is the newest. And so I'm guessing he's trading us in for all the beauties that Rachel has brought to the family. So you started in 2001.
2001.
And how many years before that?
I've been in education for 33, so 24 here, 9 in. I started in Grace, Idaho, at a small school, taught business classes for 3 years. Then I moved to Pima, Arizona, because I wanted to teach social studies. Was there for 6, and then 2001 moved here. Been here ever since.
What's the favorite memory of all the years?
Well, one of the favorite memories I have is I have 5 children. All of them went to Kingman Unified School District from kindergarten through 12th. And this is a great school district. I love this school district. My 5 kids are all successful because of the people that loved and cared for them. My youngest son, Ryan, is autistic, and every building he was at, he was loved and cared for. At Manzanita, at Wallapai, at Wycliffe's, and under you at Lee Williams. And so I love the school district, and I'm its biggest advocate. So we're an A school district. Thank you, Dr.
Jeanette Dunn, come on down. Yay. Not retiring from education, but retiring from KUSD and
Wallapai!
it's been a long time to say that, Greg. There you go. I'm so grateful. And I wish I was going in order. So you've been at Wallapai the entire time in 4th and 5th grade since the 2011-2012 school year. And I have to say, nothing, I had a fourth grader heading to fifth grade. I'm a little sad with you right now. But some of the best project-based learning and enrichment lessons that you will ever see with students, the bringing history to life every year. I know many of us visited the school when you would do those activities, and you just made sure every year that every student looked forward to going to school because your lessons were so engaging and so relevant, and we really value that you did that. So thank you for caring for kids, and we wish you the best on your new adventure, and we hope 6 months from now you're going to really be sad that you're not still here. And have you trained someone to take over your history project? I'll work on it. Oh, here's your book.
Got a couple of weeks.
Bridget Cummins. And I'm so glad, I'm guessing her spelling is. That's right. Correct. That's right. There you go. Thank you so much. So happy you're here. So you were a para at Black Mountain at first.
Yes.
So that's awesome, and then you ended at Wallapai. I noticed that you were the library assistant at Black Mountain with us. And you came to Wallapai, and you've been there ever since. And you have been caring for kids since 2000. So this is your 25th year with our district. I will tell you that the library specialists, the para educators, any principal and any teacher can attest to, you are the backbone of the school. We really count on you for everything that goes on in a school and for letting those kids give you the future story. Thank you. What are you going to do? Go to Disneyland next? Hang out with your grandkids. I tell you what. How many do you have? Four grandkids. So you and Jerry can have play dates with the grandkids. Rachel Combs. Okay, she.
Another wall pipe.
Another one. Well, although we were expecting her to be here, but she started in the transportation department, and then in the 1920 school year joined Jerry at Wallapai, and so
2020.
2020, gotcha. So we'll just give a round of applause and send our best. Maybe Jerry can give those to her tomorrow. Can you give those to her tomorrow, Jerry?
Sure.
Martha Brockney. All right. Martha's a para-educator, and she thought she was going to be able to make it, but again, I'll say the same thing I said to Cricket. She's done an amazing job, and we're really thankful. And her school, oh, it doesn't have the school. La Sanita. Julie, can you accept these for her? Her principal, thank you.
How long was she here for?
Since 2002. Yep, since 2002. She was here. Yay, I saw Kathleen Harris. Come on out. Kathleen's done all the things in the district. Paraprofessional, teacher, paraprofessional, lots of kids. We've worked together, and I really have loved you so much and everything that you've brought. Kathleen is just one of those folks who radiates joy and sunshine, and any student that was in your class. I remember watching you at Servat when you were teaching in the courtyard area, and at La Sanita. Every time the students are around you, they know someone is there who cares. So thank you so much. And I think, let's see, what year did you start? 95. So yeah, right there in that cohort. What are you going to do now? She has 10 grandkids. You guys could start a school with the KUSD school. We are reopening Palo Christi. Maybe it can be the grandkids. There we go. Well, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, wait, I'm going to give her since 1995.
What's that?
Annette Burris. Really tiring, but we're always going to be actively pulling you back in.
Yeah.
Annette is currently at Desert Willow, caring for kids since 2015. Special education secretary, but you've done many roles. What's been your favorite?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. This doesn't even include all of them down in the Colorado River Unified
What did
School
you do
District. I started off as they called it teacher assistants and paraeducators, and I did special education as well. And then I worked for a charter school for like 13 years of my daughter's school years in Fort Mojave, which is Young Scholars Academy. So I assisted
How many years total?
many. And then in California, part-time work when my 4 kids were grade school. They're all married with kids now. So.
I love it. Well, if you ever visit Desert Willow, which I have done, and Penny, Principal Blattner can attest to, you are such a joy on that campus. You know, people count on you for your positivity and your spirit, and I don't know if I have ever come into Desert Willow where you were not, this smile right here, this gorgeous smile. Every time I see you at Desert Willow, it's the same.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, and your kids too.
Thank you so much. Do we have anyone else who is retiring or leaving? Because we have all of the plaques, but not everybody can make it. I don't want to skip anyone. All right, can we give one huge round of applause? President Henry's going to share a poem in closing, and cupcakes are over there by Judy.
I was going to have all of you retirees stand, but I will let you stay seated. And I adapted this poem from Paul Burchode, and it says, "You live on." It says, "You live on in days retired, in the pupils that you've inspired. You lit the flame they carry high, now see it over the world wide. You live on in parents' hearts, together well you did your parts, to see with growing satisfaction, training up this next generation. You live on in the students' lives, who have become husbands, wives, and our parents with children's dear. You played a part and deserve our cheer. You live on for generations. What you taught is building nations. The seed you've been sowing will day by day keep on growing. You live on in memories deep. Your legacy is what we'll keep. You live on in our grateful mind, how hard it is the right words to find. To thank you for your work well done. Where it will end can scarcely tell. You live on in grateful spirit. May you rejoice when you hear it. You're an angel, a shining star. May your light shine both near and far. We wish you all very well and hope you enjoy your retirements. Thank you.
President Henry, can I add one more thing before we move on?
Yes.
So this year, we would like to add a moment of silence to the meeting because we lost some really dear educators over the course of this year. It was a tough year for a lot of our campuses, some really special people in our hearts. So if we could please have a moment of silence for the following beloved staff members that we lost in the 24-25 school year. Danny Gonzalez, Corey Jensen, William Leva, Sandra Mason, Mitzi Peterson, and Marilyn Westerkamp. And I think the poem that you just recited, it was outstanding. While they're not in retirement, they're in a better place and we miss them dearly. So a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Thank you all again for the things that you have done.
for our community and our students and our families. You're well appreciated. That brings us to item number 5 on the agenda, which is the call to the public. I did not receive any local from the room, so if you had one that you just didn't turn in. We did receive one online from Amy Abbott, and she addresses the board by saying, I should read my own thing. Oh, you are here. Would you like to come and?
I'm over here. I was just saying bye to my new friend.
Okay. Nice to meet you. While you are coming up to the microphone, I'm just going to read the little statement that says, the board will listen to any comments from the public, but will not respond except as permitted by Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01G. The board may refer the item to the administration or request to have it placed on a future agenda.
Okay. Hello. My name is Amy Abdes, and I have 3 children within the school district. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay. I'm just going to read this to keep it simple. I would like to bring to the board's attention the issue of mobile phone use in the schools and how a phone-off policy in the school district would greatly benefit the Kingman students. Benefits like minimizing distractions, improving social interactions, decreasing mental illness among our students, and improving academic performance and a sense of community. I propose beginning in the 2025-2026 school year, schools district-wide should implement a phones-off policy where all phones are placed in backpacks, turned off and out of sight the whole school day. The policy should include repercussions that would deter students from using phones within the school session. To address the concern of theft, I propose every school have a locked drawer or possibly a phone locker. Also, the district could implement a cell phone contract that requires each student to sign at the beginning of the school year, stating that they will follow this policy. So the reason why are phones such an issue and why doesn't the current policy work? So research shows that there is increased cell phone use in the classroom, even with an in-pocket policy. And it shows decreased academic scores, increased cyberbullying, and a lack of social experience, leading to increased mental illness among our students. Cell phones cause decreased attention within the classroom due to multiple alerts. One study found students are getting a notification every 5 to 10 minutes. In another study, it was found that kids need almost 20 minutes after receiving an alert to return fully back to the task at hand, like the lesson being provided. At this time, the proposal does not include a full lockup of phones. However, research in schools where this has been implemented showed students had overall improved well-being while creating a sense of community and belonging. It is then no surprise that when a survey was made across the Western world, it revealed that smartphones at schools, even only during breaks and lunch, correlated to students feeling a lack of connection with their fellow students. A phones-off policy within schools would minimize cyberbullying by decreasing the likelihood of inappropriate pictures, hurtful posts, and embarrassing videos. A simple policy like this, phones-off policy during sessions, has worked. Take, for example, Mountain Middle School. This school was implementing something like this back in 2012, and it showed improved academic performance while improving overall sense of community. This is just one of many schools that is currently implementing a policy like this. So I ask the board, let's just empower our students. A phones-off policy would give a chance to empower them to overcome possibly anxiety, manage risks, and learn overall self-governance. We must recognize gone are the days where phones are simply a tool of convenience. They are now proven to be addictive, with a large portion of the users, which in this case are students, are having their attention monopolized on. So I say, let's give our kids time to turn off these devices and give their brains time to focus on what school really is about, learning, academically, socially, and emotionally, with the quality experience needed to grow and be healthy adults. Overall, research shows that a phones-off policy would greatly benefit our students, and with a little hard work from us and you lovely people, I think our kids are worth it. I believe that the board should consider this policy and make haste in implementing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Seeing no others, we will move on to item number 6, which is our superintendent reports.
President Henry, members of the board, there are several reports this evening. I'm going to start with Mr. William Pottenberg and the Career Exploration Day. Mr. Pottenberg assisted in spearheading, and I'll let this career exploration initiative, and I'll let his report say the rest.
Thank you. Good evening, Board President Henry, Vice President Grant, Dr. Dorner, members of the board, students, teachers, industry partners, and community members. Tonight I want to highlight something that's changing the game for our students, and that is the KUSD Career Exploration events. The players have been families, community members, businesses, entrepreneurs, community partners, KUSD alum, and the field has been all of our schools. This school year, our schools have hosted events focused on careers in information technology, health science, skilled trade professions, and culinary, tourism, retail, hospitality fields. The impact of these events can not truly be measured and will have a lasting effect on the lives of our students and the community as a whole. These events are more than just classroom visits, dress-up days, interviews with professionals, and field trips. They have been eye-opening experiences that have provided exposure to the different professions here in Kingman and the diverse personalities that fill them. The KUSD Career Exploration Days have been structured, hands-on experiences that have occurred both on and off school campuses to introduce our students to the competitive jobs that are here in Kingman and the pathways that we've taken to achieve them. Hundreds of students have engaged directly with local businesses this year on and off campus. They have been listening to panels of industry professionals, working hands-on with industry technology and tools, and being exposed to the environments and expectations of the professional world. These events are filling in the gaps that make the "what do you want to be when you grow up" question difficult to answer. Students are seeing possibilities and dreaming bigger than ever. The impact is wide-reaching. Students are connecting the dots between school and the real world. They are recognizing the professionals and individuals engaging engaging them in their schools within the community. For example, a video of Lance Frost, his background and his store, the Kingman Computer Repair, was made for our Information Technology Career Day. Following the use of the video in different schools, he stated several individuals came in the shop and stated, "You're the guy in the video." There was lots of examples like that occurring across through the community. Our teachers and counselors are seeing stronger engagement in CTE programs. In February, we hosted the Explore the Trades career events, and following a panel of speakers that discussed different skilled trade professions at Kingman High School, over 70% of the student body surveyed expressed an interest in taking CTE classes and going into the trades field. Businesses are eager to help, with many offering internships, field trips, and even direct employment. The partnerships and relationships that have developed with industry partners, community leaders, and professionals has been tremendous. True friendships are forming between students and industry professionals, families, and schools. These relationships can only lead to bigger and better things for a community and its current positive trajectory. Most importantly, we're giving students hope and direction. The students are seeing what is real and possible. They are connecting people to their career goals, and the influence, information, and impact are helping them make better informed decisions about their options. This aligns with the goals of the school district's strategic plan, communication and collaboration. Partnerships and networking between schools, community leaders, and industry partners has increased drastically. The desire to work together has become a more exciting endeavor for all stakeholders involved. Effective and transparent transitions. The awareness of the unique college and career pathways available to students is increasing not only for themselves, but also among the staff, and the desire to communicate those options to the kids has increased as well. Equitable and accessible learning environments. I had to be creative with this one a little bit. All students, pre-K through 12th grade, are being exposed to industry professionals. Individuals like Josh Noble, Director of Tourism, and Dr. Adam Dawson of the KRC, that gentleman is a rock star among rock stars, spent extensive times meeting with vulnerable students in our specialized programs, only to ask to come back and do more. We are not only creating more accessible learning environments, but a more accessible community. Students and staff well-being. Though organizing and requiring professionals to be involved with these events has at times been stressful, the reward of seeing the eyes open on our students through the experiences is having a positive impact on the well-being of both the students and the staff. With wellness being such a topic, there has been something very rewarding when seeing the career aha moments happen as a teacher. In a day where it makes the daily grind of education more tolerable when seeing what the end game for these students can possibly be. These events have been refreshing and placed the dignity of the student at the forefront of post-school achievement. We are not doing this alone. Like I said, partners like WeCom Fiber, KRMC, the Kingman Chamber of Commerce, and local businesses have all stepped up, not just with their time, but with a real commitment to our kids' futures. That kind of partnership does not just happen. It's the result of KUSD actively cultivating a culture of opportunity and the reciprocation of that by others with the same values. This speaks to the heart of the Kingman community. With your continued support and the support of the game-changing players previously recognized, KUSD wants to expand the career exploration days and introduce even more unique individuals and career pathways to our student body, provide additional career exploration and work-based learning experiences that are engaging and interactive, and keep developing college and career pathways that foster a workforce-ready pipeline right here in Kingman. We are not just preparing students for graduation, we are preparing them for what comes after. To close, I want to show you a short video produced by WeCom Fiber. It captures the spirit of these events and the potential we're unlocking together. I will say that my acting debut versus coordinator Woolsey's Nicole Bro and Nicole Bro of the Chamber of Commerce and Rebecca Boyd, an all-star from Lee Williams, is much better than my acting debut. I'm a train wreck and a half, but those lovely ladies did a great job. To my defense, I need a teleprompter. They all have I just went off the cuff.
Coordinator, and I'd like to speak to you about the Career Day initiative that has been instituted by the Kingman Unified School District in partnership with local businesses such as WeCom. Beginning with this school year, our attempt was to begin with exposing students to the information technology field through career exploration days.
At KUSD, we believe in preparing students for their future careers by providing hands-on learning experiences in a variety of fields.
As a high school senior, having the opportunity to inspire the next generation of automotive technicians and encouraging young women to explore careers in the automotive industry has been incredibly rewarding. Recently, I participated in a panel where I connected with industry professionals from our community during February's Career and Technical Exploration Month. With all of the positive developments occurring within the Kingman area, these career exploration events are one piece of the pie in making a difference in our future workforce. These events have enabled networking between students, businesses, and professionals, positively impacting the development of Kingman's workforce and overall trajectory of our community.
Looking ahead, we're excited to build more partnerships with local businesses, chamber members, and community leaders. Meeting professionals from WeCom Fiber has given our students valuable insight into workplace expectations and career readiness. These collaborations are essential to strengthening our CTE programs and supporting Kingman's continued growth.
Our goal is to expose every student from kindergarten to 12th grade to a variety of competitive employment options within our community.
Survey results from Kingman High School indicates the interest in trade profession has increased by over 7%, highlighting the positive impact of community exposures on students' awareness of competitive jobs and alternate pathways to success.
Several chamber members and businesses have been involved in the schools throughout the Kingman Unified School District, and being able to provide them with exposure to industry leaders and community partners has had a profound impact on the students from all grade levels.
We're giving kids the option or the answers to the My Future story. We're helping kids through these work-based learning experiences and career exploration days answer the what do you want to do when you grow up story.
It has been heartwarming to see the enthusiasm among students and the appreciation from parents as their children become more engaged and inquisitive.
These career exploration events have really opened up the eyes of all of our students to things that they might not have considered previously.
They've been very positive events. It's been a lot of work, and it was difficult to kind of get it rolling because it was kind of new to everybody, but they've really been beneficial. We tried to do the best when it was her vision, and a lot of people have gone to kind of make that happen. So it's just that. Any questions? No? Think so. Yes, sir.
I just think this program is terrific. I'm I really like this, what you're doing here. Certainly have my support, and I think you have the support of everybody here on the board.
Hopefully we can keep going, and like I said, it opens up the eyes to what's possible. The grass isn't always greener, and we don't have grass. It's really easy to market that, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
President Henry, I'd like to invite Kingman Robotics, Jody Shanneman, and her team to make a presentation. Team 60.
Good afternoon, good evening, board, superintendent Gretchen. We basically are here tonight to say thank you. Without the continued support of KUSD and the board and the school district, we would not have been able to be as successful this year as we have become. We were allianced with the #1 alliance in Las Vegas, and we walked away in first place. We also took the Gracious Professionalism Award, and that's the hard work of these young minds and young students. There are future leaders of tomorrow. There are my inspiration to keep going. And these are just a few of our representatives here tonight. But we just wanted to take the time and say thank you. It's been a hard road. We are in our 29th year, believe it or not. There's a lot of schools and a lot of teams that have not made it this far because of COVID. They lost funding, they lost the backing of the school districts, and yet you never lost faith in us. We continued through COVID, we continued through many hurdles. Right now we are still working towards our STEM building for the whole community. We are a community-based team, and our whole goal is to work with individuals like Mr. Bottenborough, and we just recently are working with NAU that to work with the Steve Sange Engineering School of Engineering up at NAU, and we will continue moving forward with your support, and just thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Will you just pause a second? Will you take a photo? Get your other team members. You get in the photo.
I've enjoyed watching you guys throw balls at people on those Fridays.
Well, we've got, our schedule is full for the summer. We do have an FLL camp coming up in 2 weeks, and that's where we introduce STEM to not only the high schoolers, any volunteers, but hopefully anyone from 2nd grade all the way through 8th grade for the campers. But our whole goal is we want the whole world involved in science, technology, engineering, and math. You know, Mr. Benengay and Judy Benengay's son is a prime example, shining star of our team. Moving forward and going forward into space, as it were. So.
Yeah. You want to? Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Wallace Alexander, we invite you up front to speak about your KMS Cambridge trip. Thank you, Jody and Team 60.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a hard group to follow. I have a kid who's not my kid on their team, and I've been in the workroom, and they do amazing things over there. So I'm very glad that they're here today. So I am here because at the beginning of this school year, y'all approved my trip to Southern California for my 8th graders. And I discovered that y'all really care about what's going on with our students, so I thought I would come and show you. So we had an action-packed week. On Wednesday morning, we loaded up 2 vans and a trailer and headed off for our 9-day, 8-night trip to Southern California. First, we stopped at Bullhead to get water at Sam's Club and hot dogs. Then we headed to Barstow where we ate lunch at Raising Cane's before heading on to Anaheim area. Our first day, full day there, we went to Disneyland and took a physics class where they get a little book like this and they have to design a roller coaster as a group. And they go around the park to look at how the lessons of physics are applied throughout the park and how they're tying, like especially Newton's laws, into creating a safe environment that people can come and enjoy. At the end of the class, they go into a workroom and they have to build the roller coaster that they've designed throughout the whole thing and test it with marble and make adjustments, stuff like that to be successful, and then they present that to their classmates. So they have a lot of time. They really enjoy being able to apply the things that they've been learning all through science into the real world. And what I really like about the folks who lead this class is it's a bunch of young people who talk not just about what the physics is and stuff like that, but also about career opportunities that are available that you don't really think about, like being a class leader, inventing these things, doing designs and everything. So I really like, it ties into our whole, that we were just talking about careers and exploration and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we went and watched World of Color to prepare them for their technology class that we were going to take. Then the day on Friday, we went to the Museum of Tolerance, which is a Jewish museum in Los Angeles, and the students said that this was their favorite part of the whole trip. We started out with, they call it a social lab, where the students talk about bullying. They have to identify fake news and like gives them pointers about how do you determine whether something is fake news or if it's real news. What are the things that you look for? They also talk about different perspectives that people have on situations. They have this huge cube where they're showing the same story. It's about a disagreement between a mom and a daughter. And each side of the cube presents a different viewpoint of that same conversation. And so after they watch this, like the mom's side, the daughter's side, and the brother's side who's watching it, and a friend who's on the phone listening to this interaction happening, like they got together and talked about the different perspectives and the things that made, like the moms, you know, the daughter doesn't realize she's struggling with money, and so that's one of the reasons why she's telling her no, because she doesn't want to admit that like assistance isn't coming through and stuff like that. And so she doesn't understand that what the daughter is facing on social media. And so it was really a good opportunity for them to talk about, yeah, I see from this viewpoint, that doesn't necessarily mean I have all the viewpoints. And so to be able to do some collaboration and conversation, I'm talking about the different perspectives that we have. Let's see. Then we went downstairs in the museum, and which in that side it focuses on the Holocaust. It starts with the rise of Hitler, and then they go through this diorama movie type thing, where there's the different stages, like how in the 30s, how did Hitler was able to come to power, what was going on in Germany at the time, and then it ends up with they're going through Auschwitz and the experiences that the people experienced there. And they, before they entered the Auschwitz thing, they were given a kid who they had to then like keep track of. And at the end of the event, they were given a brochure, and I dropped mine in the parking lot, I think, about what happened to their child. And it's not just a, your kid lived, you could have like a whole life story about this kid that they got to read about. And if you look at that picture that's there on the right, the kids are sitting in this, like the whole of reflection is what it's called, but it's designed to look like the shower room or the gas chamber that was at Auschwitz. It gave them time to reflect and think about the things that we just talked about. And the fellow who led the group was an amazing guy who answered every one of their questions. He was so patient. At the end of this, we were supposed to hear a Holocaust survivor story, but they were sick, and so we actually did that today. This morning they zoomed in, and we heard this fellow was born in 1943 France, and we told a story of his mother and his father, and how his father worked for the French resistance and a lot of resistances, but was caught and sent to Auschwitz and then transferred out right before the liberation to another one. He survived, but wanted to go to Austria to talk about the atrocities, and because of the suffering, he passed away shortly after reaching. So this 82-year-old man who was talking to us that never met any of his father's family because they were wiped out. And I just thought that it was really powerful conversations we had with my students after listening to this about how if one person telling their story can change the trajectory of somebody else who can then maybe change the trajectory of the world, and the impact that one person and their story can have, was some pretty thoughtful kids. We went and had lunch. It's a kosher facility, so we went down to the car and had lunch, and we came back up and visited Anne Frank. And what makes this different than a lot of the other ones is her cousin, who had a whole childhood with her up until they went to hide, told his story through this exhibit and the story of their family. And so it's nice to make a connection with somebody their age that lived through an amazing time and a struggling time. So that we followed that up with a day of rest, because we found over the years that they need one. So we did homework, we went to downtown Disney, we played a lot of foosball. Everybody beat me, I beat not myself. So not a game I will be turned professional anytime soon. All right, so then the next day was a free day at Disney. They have to they're allowed to go around about the park. They have to keep track, so every hour they have to send a picture with their group. So that's one of the pictures they sent to let me know that they're still alive. And then after lunch, well, you know, it's important since y'all care. After lunch, we do a drawing class together. So I guess what one of them drew. And we make them do it only because they'll never do it if we don't. And we want them to try new things, want to experience new things. So we're like, let's go. And then a lot of them liked it and they went back again. And the next day, went to the aquarium where they dissected a squid. They did not find it as gross as they thought they were going to. And you see that they have an exhibit where you can touch some sharks and some rays and stuff like that. I do not attend this trip. I go pay the bill and then sit in the car because there's not enough Benadryl in the world to keep me alive. But I have some great chaperones who are willing to do this. After going to the aquarium that afternoon, we went to the USS Iowa and took a history tour of the battleship. And we had a fellow leading it, gave them all kinds of information. And then after that was done, they were able to explore the battleship and then go back and ask him some more questions. So that was a fun time. About 3 hours of listening to this fella. They were very enthusiastic. Then we went to our technology class where they talked about how technology has changed, pneumatic and hydraulic power used to reign the day, and now it's electronic motors. And they said the Star Wars ride that they put in several years ago has like 150 little motors that control the animatronics guy. And so they don't talk about just technology in terms of mechanics, but technology in terms like an ink pen is technology, a computer, a calculator is technology. Anything that enhances your life is technology. And so they learned about that, and they walked around and had to pick out places in the park where you could hide stuff for shows. And so that was pretty cool. Then at the end of that class, they went in and used a program that the Disney folks used to program their light shows. They had to program a light show segment, and then they stringed it all together to make one big light show, which is cool. And then I really like the fact that it's the program that they actually use that the kids are getting to interact with. And then we went whale watching. We did not see any whales. We did see some seals and a bunch of dolphins. But we always hire a naturalist to be on board, and she does an amazing job with talking to them about different species that are out there and telling them about the whales and showing them some whale poop and some baleen and stuff. And so even though we didn't see whales, they had a great time and they learned a lot. And only had one kid get seasick this year, so which was nice. All right, so I really appreciate you letting my students go and experience this. I think it opens up so many opportunities in their mind about what they can do and where they can go, and I look forward to y'all approving my trip for next year.
I would like to say thank you very much for coming back and sharing what an amazing experience. I had no idea that it was that in-depth and had that many different learning opportunities. So, good job.
Yeah, we get about 6 in the morning, we go till about midnight every night, which is why they need the rest day.
Yeah.
You know, I got a picture of one kid, he's sitting off board taking his shoes off, and then he's passed out with shoes half on. I'm like, I should put that picture in there. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Just a final report, I'm going to read a statement and make a thank you. So, KUSD Governing Board, staff, community members, and those viewing online, at the April KUSD, thank you, at the April KUSD Governing Board meeting, there was a call to the public where the speaker suggested KUSD hiring and oversight practices may have contributed to the bus accident that occurred on April 1st of this school year. The speaker highlighted that no experience is required to drive a school bus. So I thought it was important to pause and publicly respond to this comment by sharing hiring and certification standards for school bus drivers and the safety requirements that are required before buses can take the road. KUSD bus drivers, mechanics, and supervisors take the responsibility of transporting students very seriously and adhere to the highest standards. First, while no experience is required to apply for and start the process of becoming a school bus passenger driver, there are statutory and district requirements all drivers must meet before transporting students. KUSD offers a comprehensive transportation and training program in addition to requiring all knowledge exams and road tests. As a matter of fact, we're one of the only third-party training and testing districts around. We have serviced Lake Havasu, Baghdad, Cedar Hills, Mojave Valley, because we have such a great program that gets drivers through. So the things that are required: 14-hour classroom instruction hours, MBD CDL permit, which includes general knowledge, air brakes, passengers, school bus exams, 20 hours driving training while under the permit, then the driver's test through the third-party system. Drivers spend the first year on local routes. If they want to be a field trip driver, they first have to apply to do that, and then they ride as a co-rider with experienced field trip drivers on many trips from anywhere from 6 months to a year. They're not sent on their own before. They are very familiar with local routes for a year, and then they accompany experienced drivers for quite a number of trips. Every driver inspects every bus using a pre-inspection list every time they start the bus and take a trip, whether it's local or in distance. Every 45 days or 4,500 miles, whichever comes first, the buses have a preventative maintenance protocol that all buses must go through, and every other month or every 90 days a safety check occurs. Also, ADOT annually comes to the district. It's a very big event. They have an exhaustive and extensive list where they audit every bus, every mechanical piece of the bus. They make sure that our systems are in place, that all of our documentation is in order, and that we are safe to drive. So, while I appreciate the fact that it was noted no experience is required, before they get behind a wheel and students are with them, they pass those rigorous exams and knowledge tests. So I just would like that on record. As an accident update, I want to give a thank you tonight. There's been a lot, Board Secretary Portillo, or I guess Mr. Gardner is going to put the list while I'm speaking up on the board. There have been a lot of folks who have contributed to, in many ways, the efforts that has taken place since the accident. We want to extend a warm welcome to the entire Kingman community, Tucson community, Marana, many of the communities in Mojave County for caring and having offer generous support to our staff, students, and their families. We've received much support to date and continue to receive support going forward. I am happy to report that no staff or students remain hospitalized. However, there are some significant emotional and physical injuries among the passengers and staff that we're paying close attention to. They're receiving outpatient care for their physical injuries, and many of them are seeking emotional support or counseling services for those emotional traumas. And I know our principals, the 2 high school principals, actually all 3 of them, are working closely with the students as they're finishing the school year with their academics, whether they're on campus or off campus. And I wanted to just draw your attention to some of the organizations that have been appearing on the screen as I've been speaking. Donations of food, blankets, and gift cards were shared with students and their families during the luggage and the personal item reunification event. We've also, some of the donations were used to cover travel, food, and hotel expenses for those who remained in Tucson, some of them for a couple of weeks. And local fundraisers are working directly with one or both of the high schools, and in some cases the families directly. And we are encouraging them to either go through the GoFundMe or work with the high schools going forward. But it's been a very tremendous and humbling experience to have so many people join us as a KUSD family in helping the students and the teachers. So thank you to the governing board and to the principals and all of the staff members that have been helping. We're making progress, we're moving forward, and we really appreciate all of it. That concludes the superintendent's report for the evening. Lots of good stuff. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Roger. Thank you for that.
Oh.
I've got a comment, if you don't mind. I really appreciate your comments about training for the bus drivers, and I can see that Kingman School District is really doing a good job trying to find well-trained people. I would like to bring up one issue that is concerning, and I don't know if it's been resolved in the time since I've dealt with it or not, but to get a CDL, there are requirements in terms of what medications a person may be prescribed.
Correct.
And if that person is prescribed certain controlled substances, then I think they're excluded from getting a CDL license. The problem that I've seen is that chiropractors are allowed to do CDL physical exams, and which I'm sure they do a great job with the physical exam, but unfortunately they don't have access to the physician's drug monitoring program. So they can't get onto the website here in the state of Arizona and find out if any particular person is taking a controlled substance. And so if that person presents to the chiropractor for a physical exam, and if they tell the chiropractor, no, I'm not on any kind of controlled substance, and the chiropractor believes them and accepts it and approves them, they can drive a bus, but they may be on a controlled substance. Whereas if they go to a physician, the physician has access to that website, and he can find out for sure if that person is prescribed a controlled substance. And in fact, there was an instance where I had to, I found somebody who wasn't honest, unfortunately, and told the chiropractor he was not taking any controlled substance, and he was approved for the CDL, but unfortunately, I did look him up, and he was getting a controlled substance. So, it's really more of a problem with the medical community than with the school district, but something needs to be done to be sure that if chiropractors are doing the physical exam for the CDL, that somehow these individuals have still been monitored for the use of controlled substances.
Yes, and we can monitor and do.
You can access that?
We can monitor, we can do testing.
Oh, okay. Drug testing.
So thank you for bringing that point up.
Sure.
I took some notes on it.
Thank you for the wonderful reports. My heart is just really full. I was wiping away tears. some of that. So thank you guys very much for your hard work and diligence. That takes us to item number 7, which is the approval of routine orders of business. Are there any items that you would like to comment or pull from the consent agenda? I did want to pull item number H, the travel for the Cambridge School Conference in Miami, Florida. I just had a question from the community to get answered, so we will pull that one. And I'm sad that Mr. Arby left because I was going to find out where the duct tape gets to get stuck for his fundraiser. He might be no hair on his arms after this next week.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda excluding item number 8.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm not sure who to direct the comment for the this out-of-state travel to the Cambridge School Conference. The question just was asked as to why it's White Cliff staff only that were attending this particular conference when there's Cambridge staff at the other schools. And then the documentation that we had kind of, I know that on our agenda it says the 6th through the 18th, but then there was like only a pre-conference that was included, so I didn't know if they were just going to the pre-conference or they're staying for the whole thing.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to clarify for you. White Cliffs Middle School is in fact a Cambridge Showcase School, and so one of the honors of being a Cambridge Showcase School is that they get free passes. So these are 2 tickets to the conference. And that is why White Cliffs is going. The 2 teachers or educators who are going are Jen Coggins, the Cambridge coordinator, and the assistant principal.
Wonderful.
So, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
And there is a pre-conference, I should add, because after we registered, or after they were invited to come and do a presentation to the leaders of the conference. So
they'll actually be presenting there as well.
Yes, they'll actually be presenting, yeah, on all the Cambridge learner attributes. And White Cliffs, what they've done is they don't just do the learner attributes within the Cambridge classes, they've spread that whole school, so.
Well, that's terrific to hear. Well, then I will make the motion to approve the out-of-state travel for the 2 staff members at White Cliffs Middle School to Miami, Florida in June. Is there a second? Second. Okay. Are there any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So that item is approved. That takes us to item number 8. The first reading of policy, or changes in policy is recommended by the Arizona School Board Association.
President Henry, members of the board, the next couple of pages are the first reading of policies 863 to 875, and then number 9 will be the second reading of the policies we looked at last month. We are happy to answer any questions you have this time.
Any questions? There's just a lot of them for us to review. For the most part, it's just kind of like they're condensing and rearranging to make things more accessible and easier to find. Then there is item number 9, which is the second reading of changes in policy as recommended by ASBA.
President Henry, members of the board, I know there were a couple of questions, and Board Secretary Portillo can answer those. One was about third party.
Yes, so one question was, what is the definition of the bylaw to the 3rd degree? And that is referring to relationships by marriage through 3 extended generations of the spouse's family, which would include parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. So that's the definition they has with it.
Does that answer the question that you had, Susan, from last month?
Yeah, so like the question, does that mean that, for instance, my adult child couldn't work for KUSD if I was on the school board?
Yeah, it says by through marriage through 3 extended generations.
Okay.
So, well, it's saying parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. So yeah, I'm
Okay.
assuming.
Okay.
That's the definition.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't impact me directly at this time, but I do know that we have had those relationships in the past, and that's something to be aware of.
All right, and then since this is the second reading, is there action then to approve the policies number 819 through 862, the recommended changes by KSBA?
I have a motion to approve.
We have a motion on the table. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Last opportunity for comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, updated MCC coursework list for the previously approved IGA. This is information only.
President Henry and members of the board. As stated in the board-approved IGA with MCC, we put that in 2024. It states that dual enrollment courses offered pursuant to the agreement and are listed in Exhibit A attached to the agreement, which shall be updated annually by the college. And today, we just want to inform you that the college has added 2 classes, and those additions are Geology 110, Environmental Geology and Natural Disasters, and COM 121, Interpersonal Communications. So we are, students can opt into these courses, and we are just letting you know that they have been added.
Thank you. We appreciate the update. And that takes us to item number 11. Approve the calendar for Summit Academy, a Kingman Unified School District early program, college program for the 25-26 academic year.
Yes, thank you, President Henry, members of the board. First of all, in your board packets, we gave you some numbers, and we have added the numbers, increased the numbers. So today, we have 12 students enrolled in our Summit Academy. 7 of the students are on a nursing pathway, 3 are in the sciences for pre-med, and 1 is wanting to get their AJEC before they graduate, and 1 is on the education pathway. So due to the nature of the early college program, we need to create an alternate calendar for Summit Academy. And that's been created in order to capture both KOSD and MCC expectations. So we're seeking your approval for the Summit Academy Early College calendar for 25-26.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion then to approve the academic calendar for the Summit Academy's 25-26 school year?
I can make that motion to approve the calendar.
All right, we got a first and a second. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. It looks great. We're excited. Item number 12, approve proposed credit change to existing course cross-training.
Hello, President Henry and members of the board. This course is we're requesting that it be changed from 1 semester to 2 semesters. It's currently in our student information system as just cross-training. We want to change it so it'll be cross-training A and cross-training B, so that cross-training A would typically be taken in the fall and cross-training B would typically be taken in the spring. Each semester would be worth 0.5 elective credits, so a full year in the course would be 1.0 elective credits. The reason for the change is it will help with high school scheduling to set up a semester A and semester B course.
Any questions? We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I can second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, possible action to approve an IGA between Kingman Unified School District and Vail Unified School District for the Beyond Textbook Program.
President Henry, members of the board, KOSD has partnered with Vail Unified School District for over 10 years through the use of their Beyond Textbooks, or BT program, which is an online curriculum resource for teachers created by teachers. KUSD teachers use BT for a variety of purposes, including the unwrapped documents to better understand the state standards, a pacing calendar for teaching the state standards, and resources to supplement district curriculum. BT regularly updates and adds to the online resources in order to keep current with the state standards and assessments. This IGA is being brought to the KUSD board to approve the partnership for school year 25-26.
you have any questions? Does it track how much we are actually using?
I get a monthly report from Vail Unified School District with our usage, and so I am watching that to make sure that we are accessing and using it. Yep.
Is there a motion then to approve the intergovernmental agreement between Vail and Kingman Unified School District?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I can't second it.
Okay. Last chance for questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 14, book to be displayed for the required 60 days starting May 13th, 2025.
President Henry, members of the board, the novel When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi was presented to the curriculum committee on April 29th. High school English department chairs Debbie Talk from Lee Williams High School and Kathy Jugwoods from Kingman High School presented how the novel would be used to support instruction in English 4, Cambridge AS dual credit English language, and Cambridge AS general paper English classes. After reviewing the proposal, the curriculum committee voted to bring the novel to the board for possible approval. This novel goes on display for the required 60 days in order for the public to review and make comments. This novel will come back to the board at the July 8th board meeting for possible approval.
Since it's informational, we'll move on to item number 15, the Education Life Skills Early Intervention curriculum courses to be displayed for the required 60 days.
President Henry and members of the board, this life skills curriculum was also presented to the curriculum committee meeting, or curriculum committee, on April 29th. Parent liaison and discipline hearing officer Stacy Mayo presented how this curriculum has been piloted over the past year with students referred to administration for discipline infractions. The classes help students overcome the behaviors that cause the referrals. After reviewing the proposal, the curriculum committee voted to bring the curriculum to the board for possible approval. The curriculum goes on display for the required 60 days in order for the public to review and make comments. This curriculum will come back to the board at the July 8th board meeting for possible approval.
Do you know how it would be used? Like, would all students be going through it?
It's a case-by-case referral as needed depending on the infraction that the student has.
Any other questions? All right, then that will take us to item number 16, another book to be displayed.
This is actually a short story. It is called Harrison Bergeron by Kurt Vonnegut. This was presented to the curriculum committee on April 29th. High school English teacher Ms. Dejana Ware provided information about how the short story would be used to support instruction in English 2 classes. After reviewing the proposal, the curriculum committee voted to bring the short story to the board for possible approval. It goes on display for the required 60 days in order for the public to review and make comments, and it will be back to the board at the July 8th meeting for possible approval.
And then item number 17.
This textbook, U.S. History, is published as a free open education resource by OpenStax. It was presented at that April 29th curriculum committee meeting. High school social studies teacher, Mr. Ron Baer, presented how the textbook would supplement instruction in U.S. history courses and the course that was approved at the last April KUSD board meeting, which was called Films of the 20s through World War II. After reviewing the proposal, the curriculum committee voted to bring the textbook to the board for possible approval. It goes on display for the required 60 days in order for the public to review and make comments, and it will come back to the board at the July 8th board meeting for possible approval.
So because this is online and it's free, are we actually going to have it available for the public to view? Or
we actually we did purchase a copy of it, so it is sitting back there. So.
I was going to ask the same question after the next one, actually. Number 18 is films to be displayed by the required 60 days starting May 13th, 2025 as part of the Films of the 20 through World War II.
Yes, so these movies were presented to the curriculum committee at that April 29th meeting. High school social, it was a long meeting. High school social studies teacher, Mr. Ron Baer, presented how these films will be used as the curriculum for the course that was approved at that April board meeting, Films of the 20s through World War II. The curriculum committee voted to bring the movies to the board for approval. They will go on display for the required 60 days for the public to review and make comments, and they'll come back to the July 8th board meeting for approval. There's currently on the back counter a document that has the web addresses to access all of the movies. However, my email address is at the bottom, so people can email me and ask me to send them the link to that document so that they can click on it and watch it. And I realize I will also put a QR code on there so they can scan it with their phones. We also have ordered copies of all the movies. They're at the warehouse right now. They will be on this back counter tomorrow, so they will be available for people to view.
Would it be possible if you send us that link?
You bet.
And then if there's QR codes, they can watch it on their phone, but if we purchase copies, there'll be the ability to sit here and watch it, because obviously you're not gonna sit home with a...
Well, we can either check them out, or we'll make sure, I'll work with IT to see if we have a DVD player still.
I was gonna say my house
DVD and a TV player. We'll figure it out.
Can we also get the link for that short story, Harrison Bergeron?
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Thank you so much for the information. We'll look forward to looking into those. That takes us to item number 19, approve a recommendation to continue services with Education Technology Consortium, year 1 of a 5-year contract. So this would be new?
So it's a renewal.
A renewal.
A 5-year renewal. President Henry and members of the board, the district recommends the board approve a new 5-year agreement to continue membership with the Education Technology Consortium via a cooperating purchasing agreement with Northern Arizona University. This agreement is not an obligation to purchase services, but must be in place to continue membership and services with the consortium. The district utilizes this consortium agreement for our annual subscription to Synergy, which is our student information system and database, and it's with ongoing support and state reporting. Having this agreement in place allows us to purchase it each year without additional quotes or an RFP. Some questions on that?
What is RFP?
It's a request for proposal. It's a long process to request quotes for higher dollar amount services.
Is there a motion to approve the continuation of the services?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion on the table, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to item number 20, to approve an interagency agreement with the Boys and Girls Club to provide reimbursable meals as part of the after-school at-risk meal program.
President Henry and members of the board, this is a renewal of our current IGA in effect to allow KUSD to provide reimbursable snack and supper meals on school days, snack and lunch meals on Fridays and during breaks to the Boys and Girls Club of Kingman, and this summer we will provide a breakfast and lunch. The district's food service company, SFE, prepares the meals at the central kitchen and delivers to the club. The club provides the district with a roster of children that receive the meals, and the district submits the roster to the state for reimbursement as part of the after-school at-risk meal program. Between February 10th, when the Boys and Girls Club opened, as of April 30th, when I pulled the information for this, we had served 3,692 meals to the children at the Boys and Girls Club. The agreement was attached as part of your packet and will be in effect for the 25-26 school year.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? I'll second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sounds like a good partnership. Item number 21, approve longevity stipends for the district staff.
President Henry and members of the board, in May 2023, a longevity stipend was approved by the governing board for certified staff out of the Instructional Improvement Fund, which comes from state gaming revenue. The stipend was approved through 2033 as funds allow. Teachers, TOAs, and instructional coaches are eligible for this stipend. In lieu of raises this year, we'd like to mirror this longevity stipend for the rest of the district employees to be paid out of M&O. While the Instructional Improvement Longevity Stipend is yearly, the stipends being proposed today will be one-time only for fiscal year ending 2025 to be paid in June 2025. All employees who end the 2025 fiscal year with us are eligible for this stipend. For all hourly classified employees, we propose and 0 to 4 years service with the district would receive $250. 5 to 9 years will receive $400, 10 to 19 years will receive $550, 20 to 29 years, $700, and 30 plus years will receive $800. And for the hourly classified employees, we have about 5 who have been with us for over 30 years. For the remaining salaried staff, which would include psychologists, counselors, speech pathologists, directors, managers, certified coordinators, principals, assistant principals, deans, the stipend will be the same as the current instructional improvement longevity stipend, 0 to 3 years, $300, 4 to 6 years, $600, 7 plus years, $1,000. The total cost of these stipends to M&O, including benefits, will be approximately $272,000.
I got a question.
Okay.
I'm sorry, yeah. Just for the clarification, for all hourly classified employees, does that count for teachers or is that?
No, teachers are salaried employees.
They're
And
salaries.
so teachers already have the stipend through the instructional improvement. So this is to capture the rest of the employees that are not, that don't qualify for that longevity stipend.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions? Okay. Would there be a motion then to approve the longevity stipends as listed in our documents?
I move to approve the longevity stipends.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 22 is to approve contract renewal with Southwest Food Service Excellence as the contracted provider for Kingman Unified School District's food service management company for the 25-26 school year.
President Henry and members of the board, the district recommends the board approve the contract renewal with Southwest Food Service Excellence as the contracted provider for KUSD's food service management company for the 25-26 school year. The renewal with SFE has been approved by the Arizona Department of Education. SFE has 58 employees over our 11 schools, including a dedicated general manager and chef. The contract amount is based on per meal price and number of meals sold. However, the district is reimbursed for qualifying meals by the National School Lunch Program and ends up being a net gain for the district. This will be the second year of the original 5-year award, which has been in effect since July 1st, 2024.
Do you have any questions or comments? Would there be a motion then to approve the renewal of the contract?
A second.
And a second? Last chance? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 23, request motion. Oh, I need to request, I highlighted this one so I wouldn't get it wrong and then I got it wrong. I need a motion to adjourn our regular meeting into a public meeting to approve the fiscal year budget revisions.
I will make a motion to adjourn from the regular meeting so that we can go into a public meeting for the approval of the 2025 budget revision.
I'll second all that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we are here in a public hearing for the purpose of discussion related to our 25 budget revisions.
President Henry and members of the board, the May budget revision is to ensure we've captured all revenues and state adjustments and ensure our expenditures align with the district's financial goals and strategy. All data used in the May revision is from the most recent reports available from ADE School Finance. Our weighted ADM increased slightly from our last revision in December, resulting in an increase to our revenue control limit of $1,034,000. Our revised FY24 AFR showed an increase in carryover to FY25 of $1,024,000. We received 2 payments in FY25 for free reduced price lunch, a one-time funding allocation that was not accounted for in previous budgets this year for an increase of $523,000. Our non-compliance penalty was returned and no longer applicable, so we were able to remove the negative adjustment from the budget, increasing our budget limit by $925,000. There were additional minor adjustments to capture up-to-date interest accrued, dropout prevention programs, district additional adjustments, and unrestricted capital budget adjustments for prior years per ADE Budge 75 and Budge 25 reports. We recalculated the average teacher salary to include base pay and classroom site fund allocation, not including any extra duty, club sponsor, critical needs, longevity, or other stipends available. In FY25, the average teacher salary is $57,928, up 4% from last year. While this is all good news, when we talk about balancing our budget, we specifically want to look at the revenue from the state compared to our expenditures so that we can save our carryover for emergencies, one-time capital projects, one-time stipends, and financial security. I'm estimating our deficit this year to be a little more than we discussed in our February budget workshop. I estimate our expenditures will exceed our state revenue by $1.5 to $2 million. I'll be watching, I have been watching our encumbrances very closely, and will continue over the next couple of months to see what is spent and what is not on open purchase orders, so that we have an appropriate baseline as we go into our proposed budget for FY26, which is happening in the next 5 minutes. We will also continue to look for ways to reduce expenditures. And as this is a public hearing, public meeting, if anybody has comments, they can ask questions or comment.
So we will open it up to the public first. Anybody wanted to come up, make a comment?
Is it that boring? Did you guys all fall asleep?
I think it was well lined out in our memorandum. Do we have any questions? Or do we have any comments?
I do have a question. How much do we currently have, because you said that we wanted to keep basically that cushion available. How much is currently in that? Is that based off of that 1.5 to 2 million over? Is that based off of what has to go into that?
Partially. So our carryover, of course you asked the one question. Let me see. So our carryover from last year in M&O for this year was $9,786,000. And then our carryover in capital was $3,600,000. So that amount is what our carryover is. So this year being deficit, we're going to use some of that carryover. And so then we'll have less carryover for next year.
Well, Director Jones is calling it carryover, which it is. That large amount was what we reconciled when we went through the process the year before last, where the error had been made and it's been returned to us. So yeah, we're using it to basically buy down the deficit spending.
Right.
While we balance the budget.
Exactly. So it's helpful in the times when you do have unforeseen expenditures and you might go over budget, which is never the goal. But it's nice to have the cushion if needed.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Is the deficit due to lost students, or is it because of inflation?
Both. Yeah. Yep.
Last chance. And I need a motion to adjourn from the public meeting and reconvene into the regular board meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn public meeting and reconvene into a regular board meeting.
I'll second it. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And that takes us to item number 26, which is to approve the fiscal year 25 budget revisions.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion on the table. Is there a second?
I can second that.
Okay. Any other questions? Last chance. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item number 27. We have about 2 pages, 2.5 pages of listed donations to approve. Our community has well supported our staff appreciation weeks, our spring events. We have a wonderful Kingman community. So
I'll make a motion to approve.
we have a motion to approve the list of donations. Is there a second?
I'll make a second.
We got several seconds.
Several seconds.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you again. This takes us to item number 28, the possible action to ratify the 25-26 employment contracts issued to certified professional and exempt staff identified in the memo to the governing board.
President Henry and members of the board, within your packets is a list of current certified professional and exempt staff members who wish to return for the 2025-26 school year. Staff recommend the governing board ratify the 2025-26 employment contracts issued to these staff members.
Do you have any questions? A list of names.
I'll make the motion to approve everybody that would like to come back under contract for the 24-25 fiscal year.
Perfect. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Did he say that right? 25-26 school year?
I think so.
Okay, all right.
I might have not. I approve people coming back and working.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Item number 29, a possible action to ratify the at-will employment agreements issued to current classified hourly staff identified in the memo to the governing board who plan to return in the school year 25-26.
President Henry and members of the governing board, within your packets is a list of current non-exempt classified staff members who wish to return for the 2025-26 school year. Staff recommend the governing board ratify the 2025-26 at-will employment agreements issued to these staff members.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
I will second.
And we have a second. Any other comments or questions?
What does it mean, an at-will employee? Is that somebody who has a contract here to be renewed?
Thank you for the question. So our at-will employees are our classified staff members who are paid on an hourly basis. And so what we issue them is called an at-will employment agreement versus an employment contract.
They're not teaching staff, they're administrative staff.
Support staff, yes.
Very much needed support staff.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So then, we need a motion to move into a public hearing session per ARS 15-977B to discuss and adopt a performance-based compensation system to allocate funding from the classroom site fund.
I'll make a motion to approve. Move into a public hearing session for Arizona Revised Statute 15-977.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, so this is the discussion opportunity for the classroom site fund compensation system.
President Henry and members of the board, per ARS 15-977, it is incumbent upon the governing board to adopt a performance-based compensation system at a public hearing to allocate funding from the classroom site fund. While the entire classroom site fund plan is included within your packets, it is specifically the performance pay component on pages 2 through 4 that is the subject of this hearing. For the plan to be approved by the governing board, at least 70% of the teachers eligible to participate in the performance-based compensation system must approve the system through an affirmative vote. Certified staff representatives took a vote at their respective campuses. Affirmative votes exceeded the minimum 70% required. It should be noted that the performance pay component of the plan has been consistent in recent years with respect to the criteria. Staff recommends the governing board adopt the performance-based compensation system to allocate funding from the classroom site fund as presented in the 2025-26 classroom site fund plan.
Begins, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to speak regarding this item?
What is a classroom site fund? I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
So this is This is money from the state. It's a portion of our state taxes that go to a classroom site fund, and it is for teacher compensation, one, and there are several other ways that we're allowed to spend it. They give us rules of how we can spend it. Most of it is for teacher compensation, reducing class sizes, support services.
So the full compensation packet, Dr. Cox, is for the 25-26 school year going to be $13,000. So whatever their contract amount, if a teacher has a contract for $50,000, the site fund increases their compensation by $13,000 more, and it's distributed in 3 payments. One of them is the performance payment section, which Director Moreski is discussing. The other 2 are just payouts, a lump sum in August and another one in November.
So the site fund is the same in every school for the teacher?
It's a district-wide plan, and there are representatives from each school on the committee. And then in working with Director Moreski or a designee, we meet, and then the plan goes to the school where they vote on the performance portion.
So this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, so let's say let's say a school has 10 teachers. Just use that number.
7 of the 10 have to agree to it.
Okay. And 7 of the 10 agree to it, so you've got $130,000 to distribute between the...
$13,000 per each of the 10, yes.
Okay. So it's possible that some of the 10 won't get the whole $13,000.
If they don't meet the performance criteria.
And who has determined the performance criteria?
Plan indicators.
Who's that?
The evaluator, and in conjunction with HR. I don't mean to take over. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. I appreciate it. The performance piece is divided between a portion demonstration of teaching competencies, so that's related to the evaluation itself. So that's one piece of the performance pay, and then the other is different criteria that is kind of district level, and if that criteria doesn't come into play, then it's school level, and if that doesn't come into play, then it's individual. But the 301 committee had an opportunity to review that and also converse with their respective teachers on the campus.
Okay, so if, let's say the teachers didn't approve this, so then there'd still be a possible $13,000 for each teacher. They would get it possibly in another way other than the performance pay.
Committee would come to consensus on what the performance pay changes might be based on input from staff. In other words, if they don't agree to it, then we go back to the drawing board and we come to a consensus.
But the first 2 pieces are part of base pay, so they're not included in a teacher's employment contract, but they're paid out as part of base pay if the teacher meets the eligibility requirements.
Okay, this is probably going to be too much to ask to really understand this tonight, I think. But what I'm concerned about is that some teachers may feel that they're not being treated fairly as compared to some other teachers. And that's something that concerns me. Like, how can we be sure that, I mean, so we have performance standards, but I mean, that's a lot of money for a person to, let's say I know, okay, this is teacher Sally Smith, okay, and I know her, I've worked with her, and I say, Sally, you're doing a great job, but not quite good enough, so we're gonna give you $7,000 this year for performance pay. I mean, that's for one person or a committee to make that decision.
No, the committee doesn't, yeah, I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The committee does not decide whether or not a teacher receives the pay. All teachers are eligible for 100% of that $13,000. And in most cases, most teachers every year earn it because we work through a committee and the criteria is very achievable. The piece that Director Moreski is talking about is 4,500 of the 13,000. As long as they are a certified, qualified teacher, the rest, it's not, we think you do or don't deserve it. As you're a teacher, you're a certified teacher, you have the certifications, you automatically get it. It's not a subjective decision. On the performance part, it's very achievable. If you're demonstrating competency in the evaluation process, which 97 to 99% of our teachers do, it's, so I appreciate your question.
Yeah.
It's not a subjective opinion-based distribution of those funds.
So teachers do feel like they get.
Yes, and that's why they have an opportunity to be on the 301 committee and voice any concerns they may have. Mr. Seeker.
Could I
Mr.
speak to
Seeker,
that?
yes.
Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Yes. We have not.
So I'm Jeff Seeker. I'm the president of the Kingman Education Association. I'm also a teacher at White Cliffs Middle School, and I'm a member of the 301 committee. So to address that fairness piece, this package has a list of criterion that the teachers all have before the year starts of things they can do to meet that performance piece. And you have to meet 4 out of like 9 or 10 different things. So everybody has that chance to achieve that.
Okay. And do you kind of coach the teachers along if they're not meeting the criteria? Can you kind of help them and guide them to get to their criteria?
Yes, if they need it, we talk. So like I talk to my building because I represent my building.
Right.
This hasn't really changed over the 8 years that I've been here. The performance piece has not had any significant changes, so it's part of a built-in, everybody knows what that is and understands what it is.
Okay. Okay, that's good. I just want to make sure people feel like they're able to accomplish what they were asked to do if they can, and get help if they're not getting there.
Like I said, there's a lot of pieces to it. It's very achievable, and everybody knows from the beginning what that is.
That's important. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions then? Do we have a motion then to reconvene in the regular session? Action first?
You have to vote within the public hearing right now on this.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the performance-based compensation system for the classroom site fund.
I'll second that.
Any other comments or questions?
I just want to clarify that this is the result of the 301 committee and the voting at the school sites. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought. I wanted to just make sure I was clear.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And that takes us to item 31, to reconvene into the regular session.
I'll make a motion to reconvene in regular session.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. That brings us to item number 32. Possible motion to move into executive session per ARS 38-431.03A1 to discuss a recent request to be released from an employment contract by Monica Montez Stein. Do we want to move into, first I should ask, the employee is not here, correct?
Correct.
Do we want to move into executive session, or were we provided enough information?
I was provided.
I would agree. Okay. Would someone want to make that motion then? And the action, that moves us to item number 34. To the action on the request by Monica Montez Stein, a teacher to be released from her fiscal year 24-25 employment contract effective May 8th, 2025. For the reasons that were stated in our confidential memorandum.
2 of the reasons that were stated, I fully approve the idea of releasing her from any obligations with 0 penalty. I hope the very best in her future career, and I hope Phoenix really benefits from getting her.
Is there a second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item number 35, a possible motion to move into executive session per ARS 38-431.03A1 to discuss a recommendation to terminate the employee of Patricia Serta.
Is this employee here?
The employee is not here, no.
I'd like to move to go into executive session.
We have a motion to move into executive session. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, go into executive session.
Into regular session.
Second.
All right, motion on the table, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that takes us to item number 37, possible action on the recommendation to terminate the employment of Patricia Service, paraeducator specialist, effective today, May 13th, 2025, for the reasons that were discussed in the memorandum to the governing board. Is there a motion to?
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation of staff.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item number 38, move into executive session for ARS 38-431.03A1 regarding the evaluation of the superintendent.
I'll make a motion to move into executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I would like to make a motion to return into regular session.
Do we have a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then we come to item number 40 is board comments. Are there any items that the board would like to see on future agendas or any comments that we would like to make for the record?
I would like to see us put the cell phone use that was brought up at Call to the Public. I'd like just some more information on doing that, the logistics of it. Because I know there's some legislation that's in process.
Our policy matches
regarding
legislation. I think what we need is adherence to our policy.
Okay.
Yeah, we need awesome.
You know, one thing though that my girls brought up, because there was a conversation about at Lee Williams having a stricter cell phone policy next year. And they had all of the kids like sign it and be aware. And they were like, well, what about the bomb threats and the things like that that are like happening? And with the Find Me app and the like Life 360, like if I'm hiding in a room, you know where I'm at. And I was like, ooh, you got a point. And so, yes, our environment's not the same as it used to be. And I agree that cell phones are a distraction and that all of the reasons that she brought up are valid, but there's also that other side.
Then just put lock boxes in every room or something small. Put your broom in here, and you leave, you take your phone out.
CCSD, Clark County Schools has put into effect cell phone pouches where the kids put them in the pouch on their desk, and that the pouch blocks the signal.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
So
I know the schools are researching some of those
Yeah.
technologies.
you know, there's things like that. I'd like to, I mean, it's part of our world. It's something we have to live with. It's something we have to deal with. And, you know, especially with our high school kids, they've got to learn how to manage it appropriately. But at the same time, as a district, we have a responsibility to make sure we're looking at what we're doing.
Would you like it on the June agenda as a discussion item?
Is that what you're asking?
Yes, that would be
Okay,
great.
then yes.
Thank you.
I would like an AI update on that program that we've been trying to do. I haven't heard anything about it lately. I
Yeah.
get some emails from.
Tim's ready with that.
You want to do that right now?
No, it's for a future
In June.
agenda.
Let me
These
check.
are just
No.
comments and requests.
Listen, Tim, right?
Because it's not listed on the agenda, we actually can't talk about them because we didn't give the public enough notice to be able to be here for that.
And if you want me to stay longer, you need snacks.
I was.
I'm getting twitchy now.
You didn't get a Sonic cheeseburger.
I know, right? That didn't help the cause. Like 8 sandwiches and sodas.
All right, any others?
Negative.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn item number 41?
I will move to adjourn.
Everybody seconds.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.